Folks, this is the only place I found this. Sorry about it being from CBS of all places, but we do got a little bit of information that is good news for the state of Georgia and for the state of the country involving the voter rolls or involving the ballots. Check it out, folks. Here we go. Good information, and it's all coming down as of immediately.
To Atlanta, the state election board there is holding a hearing. It's pretty fiery there. It's about a potential new rule that some worry could wreak havoc on upcoming elections. That board calling for poll workers to hand count one by one thousands of votes. They say the intention is to make sure that what the machines count matches the hand count. And here's the big part of this. They want it done before certifying the vote in that state. Here's just some of what local leaders had to say and some pretty emotional comments about this last-minute policy change. Listen.
What this rule means is that election staff, many of whom are here today, are wedged into an ever more crushing situation of needing to perform superhuman feats under rules that make it virtually impossible for them to do their job. There is unprecedented scrutiny on even the most minor of human missteps in our elections, and Georgians know that all too well.
I'm sure there are many in this room who believe the drumbeat lie that there was widespread fraud in the 2020 election.
Now, you know, this being CBS, you're going to get their take on people wanting fair elections in their state, and so their spin on it is they're disenfranchising voters by trying to do this. But there's a good final result. Stick around, folks.
Election, who will think you're fighting for honesty and transparency. But given that the system we have has been proven over and over and over again to be free of any systematic fraud and all of the most trivial and innocent irregularities, your moves instead are promoting chaos, election worker distress, and voter anxiety.
Now is simply not the time to implement sweeping changes that could create unnecessary confusion and disruption. As recent history shows, election changes made in the final stage often becomes the focal points of post-election controversy.
Okay, so let's drill down on this. CBS News campaign reporter and attorney Katrina Kaufman watching this story from where she is assigned as post in Michigan right now. Katrina, what is this all about?
Let me tell you what it's all about. It's about having the option to count the paper ballots, get a number, shove them through the machine, match up the numbers. That's what it's all about. This is not disenfranchising anybody. This is not anything that's going to affect anybody's option to vote, but it will definitely make sure that votes are not being injected. And God forbid they would do such a thing, right?
So, Reed, there's been a lot of attention on this Georgia State Election Board recently. They had previously passed two rules that had been causing a lot of people to pay attention because it would basically give local election authorities more of a way to delay certification if they think that there's a reasonable inquiry into the election results. We're now contending with this new rule about hand counting, and they're actually considering 11 different rules today. They've now passed this hand counting rule, which, as you were playing,
32.
Many people spoke today to that board before they made this decision and just talked about the toll that this could take on poll workers, on the burden of this.
If they have to count them by hand, if that's the worst, if that is the crutch of their complaint of having to do their job and do it thoroughly to make it credible, if they don't want to do that, we need new poll workers. If you don't want to do your damn job, you don't want to have to work harder to ensure the vote was accurately counted, then you're the wrong person for the job. Just my opinion, folks. But if you're complaining about not wanting to be transparent, not wanting to do more work to ensure transparency, you're part of the fucking problem. Pardon my language, but this stuff does piss me off. I've seen so many states in the last 3 weeks just trying so hard to fight for cleaning up the rolls, and then we've got them that are fighting against cleaning up the rolls. Even here in Texas, we've got Bexar County having to be sued by our Texas Attorney General in order just to run elections properly involving mail-in ballots and things of that nature. It's going on in every state, folks, and I'm glad to see that we're battling this. It does look like we've got a win. We're actually going to be able to have hand counters along with the tabulation machines. I hate the machines altogether, but if you at least got a hand count of a physical hand count, it's one more level of security to ensure that they're not injecting votes.
Was saying, how are you going to fund this? And also just talking about the exhaustion of election day and how this just adds so much time to it. They're going to need time to rest. There's just so many
Oh my
elements to
God.
think about. Interestingly, the board also weighed a rule about hand counting of early voting, and they decided to table that. That was a 4-1 vote, but they are going to be hand counting ballots in Georgia unless something changes here. It's also worth noting that the state's attorney general told them that it might not be lawful for them to make this change. And the board's chair actually said this during today's session. He said that he doesn't think that they have the statutory authority to do this. It's something that should be weighed by the legislature, not this state election.
Well, that just tells you the attorney general in the state is a rhino. That's what we know. We know Raffensperger and Kemp, the governor, the secretary of state, and the attorney general in Georgia are all three a bunch of Trump hating rhinos, and they don't care if they ever win another election again. They only care about maintaining their own power, and they don't believe that Trump is something they want to. The MAGA party is not something that they want to be a part of. They're on Team Neocon, Team Uniparty. It's just, I don't know why. Maybe it's all the money in Georgia, but we have definitely got a huge rhino problem in Georgia, and we've seen it in the last election cycle. And hopefully, we're getting it straight so they don't get to do it to us like this again, because all eyes will be on Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Carolina, all these swing states that we know where the shenanigans happened last time. Detroit, of course, Atlanta, of course. But we will have a lot better results at the end of this election, no matter how it goes, as to what shenanigans happened, what real numbers look like. I believe that we've got enough voter organizations out there, not just trying to get out the vote, but trying to protect the vote through legal means, that I believe that we actually stand a chance of swamping them this time. Let's make it too big to rig. Hopefully, this was insightful enough for y'all to know that this is good news. Great news. I prefer paper over machines every time. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up with a little like thing, smash the like button, and give me a comment what you think every state should do. Do you think every state should do this? I do. Uh, go back to machines, or go back to paper only, machines and paper. What's the best answer? I don't know, but I'm totally against machines at this point, just to be a fact, because I know they're manipulatable. Like, subscribe, and share. Vote of Patriots. Everybody have a great day. Over and out.